To the club. All right. So, welcome, ladies, to Lunch Bunch. That was an exceptional call with one of Jane's guests from Saturday. And she had called back right probably 15 minutes before we were getting started. So, we were on the phone for quite a bit. And I didn't want to rush her off the phone. Let me look. Let me look at how long that call was. 11 minutes and 51. Oh, no, I'm sorry, 17 minutes and 30 seconds. So I was thinking 15 minutes would be plenty of time, but she kept talking, and I'm like, hey, I'm going to let this run. And Jane was the first one on, so she got to like hear that conversation from her guest. Hey, Jane, how did you meet Helen? And you're muted with your camera off, so I'm not quite sure.
Um, she was she she needed a product, and one of the first people that I met or had at my party at Jane Davis's house. That's where she came from.
So she was a referral.
And
Yes,
she's from Michigan too, huh?
She's a snowbird from Michigan. Yeah.
right.
Good.
Yeah, so she used to sell Mary Kay in Michigan. She still has
Yes.
a relationship with her prior director, Jane Jones, who she's not sure if she's still a director or still, in Mary Kay, but um she said she loved the camaraderie of the women on Saturday and how everybody helped out and had their little jobs and going around with the facial cloths and things like that. She loved that it was explained what was in each product and who would want to use this product and why you'd want to use it. She thought the presentation went well. She was not bored. And she's been to a lot of Mary Kay demonstrations, so she knows a good demonstration from maybe a not so great one, which is not the end of the world if you have a not so great one. I mean, everybody's got to start somewhere. But being able to ask these questions on if you were in charge, what would you have done different? I did ask her that. She said, I wouldn't change anything at all. Um,
Wow.
she loved that I brought in my personal experience into the demonstration because that's not always easy to do. I'm sharing very personal things at that, letting them know how low I had gotten as far as my finances and things like that. And she just really felt it was very informative and well run and well organized. Jane, she's like your biggest fan. She loves to support anything, because I thanked her at the beginning for being a woman of her word and being there. And she said, oh, absolutely. And I'll support Jane in any way that I can. So, Jane, right, I think it was right as you came on, she said, so if I did want to do this again, like I hadn't even asked her yet. That was my next question was, okay, so you heard me talk about the opportunity. This is what I say to them. Um, where's my book? Here it is. I literally have a script here that I follow when I'm doing these calls. And I say, so you might know what I'm going to ask next, but when I talked about the Mary Kay opportunity the other day, I'd love to know on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being never in a million years, if you were starving on the street, would you consider this opportunity? And 10 being this is really great and I want to give it a try. And no fives, because that's sitting on the fence of indecision. Where would your interest lie? That's what I was about to ask her, but she came up with, now if I were willing to do this again, right? Um, and you got to have a smile in your voice when you're saying no fives, okay? So anyway, she is really considering it. Her husband has some health issues, which is maybe holding her back from just doing it because I believe she wants to do it now. But she's unsure of what's going to happen with her husband's health and how much she'll need to be around and how long she'll be in Florida, or I mean in Michigan, once that happens, right? And so I just eased her mind on that and said, you just need to decide that you want to do it. And if you need to put things on pause while you're taking care, your Mary Kay girlfriends are going to keep you prayed up. They're going to be there for positivity and help you through that. But I also did say to her that, if you just want to continue to bring people to Jane, introduce her to your friends and family, anyone she gets on product, once you make that decision, she's going to give them to you as your customers. She's not going to keep anybody you bring to her. So that's going to keep her a hostess and a referral person in the meantime if she doesn't decide to join, right? So,
Yes.
Jane, do you have any questions? I don't see you, your camera's off, and I don't know if that's intentional or not, which is fine because I saw that you were in like another building or something. But
I'm going to get blood.
oh, you're giving
There's
blood.
a blood for a neighbor.
Very nice.
So anyway, that's what,
Jane.
so I didn't think it was going to take that long here, but anyway, so if it gets to the point that I have to hang up, you know why. But I did
Yeah.
read the chat. I did. Yeah, I talked to Helen last December before she went back to Michigan, and she said that she was going to think about it. And so then when she got back, then I contacted her, and she was excited about coming to the party because she needed some more stuff. So it was, I've talked to her several times. She's a nice gal, likes to talk, and like you said, it's a great way to meet people, and that's what she wants to do. So I think she will eventually come back into it. So I'm glad that you talked to her. And
You cut out a little bit at the end, but yeah, I am loving this follow-up. And let me just tell you, Lisa Madsen, who was the first national that y'all got to hear from on the Boss Babe series, this is how she grew her $1 million unit and national area, was following up with every single guest. And I've heard her say this, you guys. I've heard her say this for years, that she just asks a couple simple questions, thanks them for being there, and it has created new team members for her unit, new team members for herself, and so on, right? Or referrals or more sales. And I had gotten this script in one of the classes I was in, and I said, okay, now I have it actually written down on a sheet of paper because I've written it down in my notes and not done it. I said, how many times am I going to hear Lisa Madsen say that? This is the Lisa Madsen who just retired with $17 million in commissions in her career. How many times am I going to hear her say, follow up with every guest before I actually start following up with every guest like it's my job, right? So just these few phone calls that I've gotten to have with a few of the guests from Saturday, still waiting to hear back from the others, and actually got permission to call a couple of them back today. I'm loving it. And why not? Why not follow up? And she had a question about the lifting serum I was able to answer. Do I do that morning and night? And now she's also gonna buy a barrier restorer because she's got redness in her skin, and I was able to talk about that, which I didn't really want to talk about all that on Saturday because it's already 18 products that we're talking about in the demonstration itself. So good. I think this is such a short chapter. I figured we had a little extra time where I could talk about this and talk about the importance of sharing the opportunity, whether you feel it's for them or not, right? Sonia came in this morning. Sonia's over here sitting in the dining room. So she came in this morning going, I think I got a team member and she wants to talk to you. And I gave her the confidence to say, you could sign somebody without them talking to me if they're already excited about it, unless they really have those questions that you can't answer. I don't mind talking to people, don't get me wrong. But I want you all to have the confidence to say, I know how to copy and paste this agreement link. And I know how to share with passion what I'm doing because every person I've talked to has been grateful that I talked about my personal experience and we're excited about that. And we're inspired by that story. So, any questions or comments about the talking to people and just, even if I'm not calling them because they weren't in front of me, you following up with your guests within a couple days and asking those questions, would there be anything you would change? It's a good humbling way to get better at what you do and know what your guests are thinking. And women love to give their opinion, don't we? Don't we love to share our thoughts and give our opinion? Absolutely. Well, I'm excited for you, Jane. You're going to be in your red jacket before we know it. All right. Well, this was an extremely small chapter called Chapter 2, You Build with People. And we'll start with you, Marilyn. What
Okay.
were your thoughts on these, 2 pages that we had to read?
It's
Two and a
very
half,
short.
yes, 2.5 pages.
Um,
I think she made the point extremely well that you need people to be a successful business, and you aren't a successful business, even if you think you are, if you don't have the people there. And I was very impressed the fact that she always tried to move people um, at least laterally if she had to move them from a position. And I thought that her experience, um, her down to earth approach with people um, really made it easy to like her and to value what she had to say.
How about you, Jane?
I agree with Marilyn. I was I like, I was very impressed that she wanted to take the people and then the example where the guy just wanted to buy the business but not the people and they went belly up. So, it just reinforces that it is a keep good communication with everybody.
Yeah. A company is only as good as its
Did
people.
you hear me?
We heard most of it. You were cutting out a little bit. It's not the best signal where you're
Okay.
at.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So she's saying at Mary Kay, we consider people in the independent sales force and in our corporate offices to be our most important assets. People are the business, just like you've both said, right? Like outstanding businesses are composed of outstanding people. And a company is built with people. Remove them, and the company's ability to function effectively is seriously threatened. And that's what Jane was just talking about, buying these businesses, but firing the management and bringing in your own management. The management is what had those businesses successful. And so now you've caused a divide. Now you've caused employees not wanting to be a part of what's going on because you threatened what they had built, right? So now those businesses that were lucrative when they bought them, they fire the management, they bring in new people, and now they're working in the red. Like they're at risk of shutting down because it's not the same business it was because they took away the people that made it great. And that reminds me of this current situation with the e-commerce that Ryan Rogers so boldly took charge and said, we're not going to get rid of our sales force. They are what make this company great. They are who build the relationships with the customers and they're able to talk to them and say, "Oh, you have redness in your skin. Let's talk about Barrier Restore," right? Like she's not going to get that type of customer service going to a website and shopping on a website. She's not going to know the proper products for herself um, without studying every single product in the product line. So that's what sets us apart, right? So there's a lot of other companies that are getting rid of their sales force, going strictly to online e-commerce because that's where the majority are going. But that's what makes us different and will make us stand out from all the others.
That the very last line of the chapter where Alfred Sloan, that really impressed me. Take my assets, but leave my organization. In 5 years, I'll have it all back. That was a wonderful statement.
Yeah. Yep. And how does that make his people feel as well, right?
Mhm.
So when Ryan stands up for the legacy of this company, this makes the sales force stand behind him that much more because we know he's doing what's right for us. It's not about for him. It would make his job a lot easier if he didn't have to deal with all these women because he hears every opinion. Right? I just finished saying women love to give their opinion. Well, that goes in corporate too. Like every time we have an opinion about something corporate's doing, Ryan hears about it, right? And and that can't be easy because it's not always a positive, fluffy feeling what people are sharing. Sometimes it's negative, even in Mary Kay. Um, and she says in here also, when it comes to hiring people, a company gets what it pays for.
Mhm.
And when Mary Kay Ash first wrote up this marketing plan, she didn't think anybody would believe that the marketing plan was going to work. And the experts were telling her with the marketing plan that she was writing up, she's not going to make any money. She's going to go bankrupt. You can't pay consultants 50% of the dollar. And she's like, yes, I can. And I will, and it's not just that, but it's the second avenue of income of growing your team and giving cars and diamonds and trips and all the things that they give. They are still a completely debt-free multi-billion-dollar company continuing to thrive. So at Mary Kay, a lot of tender, loving care is devoted into each person who joins them. Now she's talking about the corporate staff, right? So if by chance they don't seem to be working out in one area, she doesn't just fire somebody from the corporate office. She finds another spot for them, if at all possible. Because it was like, oh, this one woman specifically, we liked her and she liked us, but she was just not good at the job she was hired for. So we didn't want to lose her because she got along with everybody. We just had to find a spot that better suited her, right? Um, you have any thoughts, Sonia, while you're listening?
I'm listening.
It's okay.
Okay.
She didn't read the book.
But it's very interesting. I'm sitting here thinking,
Yeah.
why didn't I read that?
Yeah, this is just the second chapter. It's like 2.5 pages.
I can catch up?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you can catch up.
Okay.
Absolutely. And I always say, even if you don't do the homework, which I'm always guilty of not doing the homework in Bible study and book clubs and all the things, I still take something away,
Okay.
even if I didn't read the chapter. So, I don't want anybody not showing up because they didn't read it, because you'll learn. And then you'll be more eager to read the chapter because of what you heard, that was shared.
Read that.
Oh, good, good. She said she started reading Let Them. I also underlined that last line that Marilyn just read, but also the
I'm
paragraph.
gonna have to get off the call now. Bye.
You're okay. Jane's getting off. Is that what she said?
I think a baby aspirin. That's it.
Okay, I just muted her. All right, and then the last line of the second to last paragraph said, good people are always hard to find. So when you do find them, it's important to make every effort to keep them. It's such a short chapter. I don't even know if we'll be on here a full hour. And I took the first 15 minutes doing a phone call and trying to get on that phone call. But it's a short yet powerful chapter, right? We have to look at each individual person as a human being that makes a difference in what we're doing. And so we don't want to discount anybody. We don't want to make them feel like, for example, there are consultants in our unit that don't really sell much of anything, but they love what we stand for. They love cheering each other on. They love being a part of the sisterhood, right? They might just be maintaining their own personal product. And then there's people wanting directorship. Every single person in our unit makes a difference, no matter where they are on the career path, no matter where they are in their activity level and that kind of thing. And not everybody feels that way, but that's my goal, is to make sure they all feel that way, that they know I'm not upset with you if you're not doing something in the business. I just want to encourage you to do what your goal is to do, right? But that's up to you. My relationships are not dependent on how successful you are in the Mary Kay world. Right? So I don't know if we'll get Jane back. I don't know if she was, yeah, I know. She was just being called in or what. I mean, she made a great effort to be on here. And I'm so glad that she was able to log in when I was on the phone with one of her customers, I think
Yes.
that's so good.
I was thinking about how this some managers haven't learned that aspect of the business about the people are the most important, or that when you leave, if that employee leaves for another position or whatever, that you don't burn your bridges with that person because they still have a valuable contribution to make somewhere.
That's right. That's right.
And I remember I was fired once for well, I was in the wrong. It was a very good case of not being in the right position. I took a job because it was the only one available in the emergency room when I was obviously an operating room nurse, and the nursing is quite a bit different. And I was not successful there. And the the person who fired me had not even observed me, but she came out with like she said, five really insulting things to me at the time I was terminated. She said I was stupid, lazy, ignorant. And there was like five things, and I actually looked towards the door to see if there was anybody behind me. I was thinking, what an awful thing to do to somebody. But I remember how crushed I was because I didn't have that image of myself. And that encouraged me with Mary Kay, because she obviously has more understanding of people on the whole.
Right. There's actually a chapter 6 called Sandwich Every Bit of Criticism Between Two Heavy Layers of Praise.
Hmm. Hmm.
And that boss clearly had never had that training, right? Or even the next chapter that we're going to read about the invisible sign that says, make me feel important.
Yeah.
That's God's love, right? Whether they're doing the job perfectly or not, they're still a human being and they still have feelings. And, words, you can't take back words.
Right.
And so we
Right.
have to be really careful of the words that we let come out of our mouth, especially when we're emotional, to make sure that it serves the person in front. There's a better nursing job for you. You're just not, this is not your strength over here. Let's look at some other areas in the hospital you might be better served, right?
Yeah.
But that's terrible. I'm sorry that that happened to you, and that, those words have obviously stuck with you for a very long time,
Hmm.
and they affect us if we don't work on it, you know? And so just remembering that as we're talking to other people and as we talk to ourselves, not to say those kind of things to ourselves, even if it might not be out loud in our brains, to really think the best of who we are, right? And of our bodies. I have this 1 Corinthians 6:19 through 20 hanging on my wall. Do you know that your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit who is in you, whom you have received from God? You are not your own. You were bought at a price. Therefore, honor God with your body.
Hmm.
And that reminds me not only um with like my mind, but also what I put into my body, how I move my body, all of those things. That's why I hung that there, because I just want to remember this is not my body, this was God's, and I want to honor it as I honor him. And it's the same with other people. I think Mary Kay Ash just had such a great way of leading by example with that on how she treated people. And she was always willing to share and have us learn from her. So that's why I say I read this all the time, right? It's not like just read through and check a box that I've read this book. Like I want this book to be ingrained in my brain. So when I feel like saying something nasty to somebody, and I do, I get those feelings. They don't just go away. I just know better. So I do better, right? And I don't know that I would necessarily call somebody stupid. I don't know that I've ever done that unless I'm just being silly. You're so stupid. But
Yeah.
I probably shouldn't even say it then. But I know growing up, like those were terms of endearments in our family. We would pick on each other. And now that I see it, now that I know better and I do better, I'm like, man, y'all are mean to each other. That's just don't do that anymore. I can't believe I used to do that, you know. But yeah, and I guess we could fold this into our customers too. Like maybe a repair customer goes to being just a cleanser moisturizer customer, right? Like, okay, I bought this set and I'm not doing it. Well, that doesn't mean don't use anything. Let's see what you will use and what you'll be consistent with, right? We can find a good healthy routine for you. Or if you react to this, well, let's let your skin calm down and find something that is better suited for your skin because we have 5 different skincares, right? It's just really opening up the conversation. Don't be afraid of a customer that's not happy with a product because it's how we handle that scenario is going to be dependent on if they continue to use Mary Kay or tell everybody, oh no, don't go there.
Yeah.
Right?
Or I'm allergic to Mary Kay products, and you probably will be too, you know.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Well, you're not allergic to a brand. You're allergic to an ingredient that, you had a reaction with. And maybe it also happened at the same time you were starting a new medicine or using a new detergent on your clothes. Who knows? I mean, there's so many things that can go into that. And you're never going to know if you don't peel away the layers of that onion. So if they're willing, I'm willing. I'm always willing to be patient and really listen to them and repeat back to them what they're saying so that they feel heard and all right, well, let's find an answer for this.
And
Um,
that's so important with somebody that is the person that's bringing everything back to you, for
yeah,
one little picky reason or another. We have to remember um, that they have a need to be heard.
yeah. Sometimes people want negative attention just to get the attention.
Hmm.
Yeah, exactly. And also, I've had consultants rise up to certain positions and fall back to lower positions. And it's like, okay, well, let's reevaluate this. It doesn't mean you're not meant to be up here, but let's get really good at the bottom level. Let's get solid at beauty consultant and then solid at senior consultant, solid at star team builder, and just getting really good at those skills that we're doing. And the growth can accidentally happen when you do that. The only reason we fall backwards is we stop doing the things that we knew worked and we started doing something different or just stopped working altogether. And this business will not just maintain itself. You do have to be consistent and especially your customer service and your relationships with your team for sure. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to wrap this one up early, nice and easy with a bow. Marilyn, do you have any other thoughts you want to share, or maybe even some questions? You have my undivided attention here.
Yeah, really. And there was something that I had in my mind that I was going to ask you about, and of course, it's gone blank right now.
I put
Oh,
you on the spot and you lost it.
yeah. I was going to say, it, uh, it was about the end of the month and
Okay.
end of the month and thing, and I've done sales wise, I've done very poorly. I just want to know, I can make that up in February, can I not? As far as for the quarter,
For
if
the
I'm
quarter, yes. So it just,
okay.
you want to look at what is your goal for the year. Then
Hmm.
we put it down to quarters. Then we put it down to months and then weeks, right? And
Right.
so whether it be through sales or personal investment, you can always place wholesale orders. Now, I will be the first one to say it at some point. If you're not selling it, stop buying it, right? But
Hmm.
there's always room as you're growing your inventory to add to maybe some demos that you need or the new products coming out or whatever, right? But with that, if your focus is this consistency to cross the seminar stage, right? To be a star, you always want to stay on track with that 600 every month. but you can catch up as far as the quarter is involved. But you cannot go back and do a 600 for January. If you don't get it done in January, you're going to miss the opportunity across the stage at seminar. And so if that's something that you're working towards and wanting to have that consistency, you'd want to at least do 600. So I can give you a challenge. You know, I have Sonia working on a challenge now as well, to call your friends and family, existing customers, and ask them for 24 orders within 24 hours that are at
Okay.
least $24, right? And so when you do that, you're going to have $600 in sales and you can hit at least your 600 minimum for this month, to keep that moving and then work at, okay, now let me get back in front of people. Let me do what I know to do, right? Like when you had a great month, you were in front of faces and you were sharing the product. And so that you don't want to stop that. You want to have, you know, one or two parties a month at least. I mean, I don't know what your exact goal is for each and every month, but you know, some people want to have one or two parties a month, some want to have one or two parties a week. Some want to have two or three parties a week, you know, because they're really looking for massive growth. And so you really want to decide what that is for you. And I know we've had talks about, you know, it's not necessarily a career that you're looking for, but you could bring in the next person that is looking for a career, and that's really going to help you maintain some good, steady income. So it's not just selling the product, but also growing your team.
Right.
So while you're talking to everybody about your 24-hour challenge, um, you know, also asking them to answer a couple questions about the opportunity so you can practice that conversation. Because in those conversations, it might
Oh,
not
that
be that woman, but they might have a daughter or a friend that they can refer your way.
that was the question. Beverly has agreed to do uh the Pearl conversation, the Pearl
Excellent.
conversation with me, and I'm struggling. I'm reading the Mary Kay autobiography because I feel like I need to read that before I can do that conversation.
Oh my
If
goodness, no. No,
no.
no, no. No, Jane. That, you know what that is? That's getting ready to get ready.
Yeah, sort of.
I don't know that Leslie's even read through that book and she brought you in, didn't she?
Yeah, she did.
Amongst others, you know, it's about having excitement of what you know so far and learn together. You know, the someone coming in could bring in 5 team members their first day that you don't have to know anything. I can guide you both and teach you both at the same time.
Okay. Okay.
So why don't we have that conversation together? I can have the conversation with Beverly while you're listening and learning about that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. I'll get it. I'll look at your calendar and see when I can get her because she does work. So, uh,
does she work like Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 kind of thing?
well, she works at the library, so she works some weekends and she works, but she's off in the evening. But she doesn't get off till 5:30. So,
All right.
uh,
Well, I have availability today, so get her in and we'll do that $100 question with her so I can show you how that $100 question is done.
okay.
How does
Okay.
that sound?
Okay. All right. Let me see what I can do and I'll get back with you.
Perfect. Oh, I'm
Okay.
excited. We're going to make you a senior consultant before Sunshine Superstar. How about that? No, don't wait till you know more to share the opportunity. You could know nothing at all. Just be excited and they'll want to join and then it's up to them. It's not up to you to train her or to know everything to tell her. I take that on until you're ready. Okay?
Okay. Okay.
I'm excited. Let's go. Let's bring in your first team member today. All right. All right, Marilyn. Well, thank you for coming today. Those who show up, go up. I appreciate you. And I will see you Saturday, but I'll talk to you later today.
Okay.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Mm-hmm.
Bye bye.